Hello friends, I'm Aaron Ciotti, everybody calls me Ciotti, and I am just scoring up the inside of these tiny whoop propellers to get them to fit a little bit better on these tiny whoop shafts, on these little 0702 30,000s, because this is what we're going to be flying tonight and doing some Blackbox logs from. Tonight we're going to be taking a look at response time with tiny whoops. Is there a significant difference in response time between biblades and triblades, as well as 0702s versus 0802s? Brandon's Baked Beans is going to try to swing by and help us out, but basically, I'm just going to do all of the logs tonight. Whether or not Brandon can hang, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to do all of the logs, and then I'll get him over to Brandon, and maybe he can take a look at some of them here tonight. If not, he'll have a look at them, and on Sunday at 3 o'clock Eastern, I'll be back, and if he's had a chance to take a look at them by then, we'll talk about it. He's also going to take a quick look at, like, if there's anything drastically wrong with my tune. I tune these things pretty simply. So there is a chance that there's something or other that, like maybe turning the gyro filter completely off is a way that we can get a significant decrease in latency. I doubt it. The way that I tune these is by taking I take the major chunks of latency out by turning one of the gyro filters off, only running one RPM filter harmonic. I think only one dynamic filter as well, and then pushing the sliders, for you guys it would be this way, pushing the sliders up a little bit. And that takes the biggest chunk of the filter latency out. You can certainly continue to push and remove filtering, but what I've found from just kind of talking to Mark Spatz, and then just keeping a close eye on the way Brandon tunes, the way Mark tunes, and the way Chris Rosser tunes, yeah, the gains become, to push farther than what I do, the gains become much less, and you kind of enter into the danger zone. So it's sort of yeah, diminishing. Where in my opinion, where I'm at with the filter tuning is at the point of diminishing returns, and I would also rather have a little bit more filtering so that I can then push the PIDs harder, specifically D-gain. I really like the way D-gain flies and handles prop wash. So by having a little bit more filtering, you've got a cleaner signal, and then you can push more D-gain in. So yeah, there's that. In chat right now, Niners First, Fractal Eyes, Titan, Kevin Sumner, Bob Bruce, Punani, Ramdanko, Gusto, Sky Sailor, Brandon Woodford, Manjaro, Black Borks, Joey Whittaker, Joy Monkey, Binks Mage, and Almac FPV. What's up, friends? So yeah, that's what we're doing tonight. A little bit of a low-key stream. Of course, this is a Q&A stream, as they all are. And we're going to be flying around. I do not fly this rig much. So I've got, for the logging, for the logs that I'm going to do, I've got 4 fresh We Bleed FPV batteries. So in theory, these have only been discharged maybe 5 or 6 or 7 times. So each of the 4 logs, 0702, 0802, Tri-Blade, Bi-Blade, each of the logs will have a fresh battery, but I've also got 6 more beat-up batteries here that we're going to fly around and just kind of dial in on these brand new GemFan Tri-Blades. We Bleed FPV has these, and I believe that Tiny Whoop also has these now on their site. Jesse called me yesterday, asking if so, like this propeller. This is the new GemFan. It doesn't really have a name. Like sometimes GemFan will name their props like Wind Dancer or whatever. This, it has the sizing, which is 1208, 12 as in 1.2 inches, 08 as in 8 pitch. But yeah, like there's no real name. So Jesse was like, hey, do you have anything in mind? And I said, I'll think about it. I actually got back to him today. I texted him this morning and I said, hey man, I can't think of a really good name. But the only thing I could think of was GemFan Light, because GemFan has another 3 and 4 blade that is more pitchy and heavier. So yeah, that was my suggestion to Jesse, was the GemFan Light props. And he actually, I thought it was like a stupid name, and he comes back, he's like, I actually kind of like that. And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, I mean, it totally works. So shit, he might have actually named them that. And I want to check to see if they're on here too. I don't want to send you guys on a wild goose chase. Jesse also has a ton of these custom dyed props, which is really, really, really cool. It's super slick that he's dyeing stuff so that we can get some other colors. Look at that Granny Smith green. So these are the old GemFan, the standard GemFan Tri-Blades. A little bit heavier, significantly more pitch, roughly double the amount of pitch as the new ones. Let's see if... Yeah, there they are. There they are. GemFan Tri-Blade, 31mm, 1mm shaft, new version 2023. So yeah, here they are. You can get them on WeBleedFPV or TinyWhoop.com, it would appear. And then there's the quad blade version of it. I've had the prototypes for a while. I did not find a motor that would really turn the quad blade all that well. But I'm not a racer. If you're a racer and you're looking for even more grip than a tri-blade, then yeah, snag a set of these quads for $3.30 whole cents and give them a shot, because you might dig them. The quad blades are, so this is now like probably the lightest quad blade available. So yeah, give them a shot. Propellers are your best chance to change the way that your rig flies and try to, they're always going to change the way the rig flies, and they're going to change it drastically. The propellers on a quad are like the tires on a car. There is no one thing that you can do that will change the performance of a car than tires. And with propellers, it's the exact same thing. So like, if anything, you know, if you're looking at like your hierarchy of like, all right, I bought or built a rig, I want to change the way that it flies, absolute first thing should be propellers. You should not be thinking about changing the PID tune or the filters or the frame or the motors before you've tried a bunch of different propellers. What's really cool about that is that propellers are really cheap and they're really easy to swap on and off. So you guys should have like a big selection of props that you can change off and on to kind of just play around. And it's also a really good way of testing yourself to try to get through the placebo that is, yeah, it's very difficult to see, because all we can really do is see the changes that things make. And so yeah, propellers are a good spot to kind of check that out. There's gonna be a lot of confirmation bias, and like you're gonna change the propellers and you're gonna swear to God that it flies different. If you've got somebody in your life that you can show how to change propellers off and on, as we did on Wednesday's stream, have them do some blind testing for you. You will be blown away at how difficult it is to tell the difference between propellers, even though they make the biggest difference in flight characteristics. The main thing that Patrick and I ran into on Wednesday was that they do sound different. Luckily, apparently I didn't know that. I thought for sure that I knew the way biblades sounded, but I was wrong. But the problem is, as soon as you hear, so here was the problem on Wednesday. As soon as I heard the propeller and thought that it was a biblade, that's it. Like that, my brain is putting a lot of weight on that, right? Because like, I know what they sound like. So like any other more subtle differences that I can feel are out the window, because I'm pretty sure that I heard that it's a biblade, right? So I don't really know how to get around that. The problem with that is when you can't hear the propellers, you don't fly as good, and you don't like, yeah, it's just an awkward flying experience to not be able to hear the propellers. We use the audio cues, I've realized, to inform us on like things like how quickly the prop spins up when you stab the throttle. So when you remove those audio cues, you lose like half of your senses, right? Because the only other sense you have to go on is your eyes looking through the goggles. So it's really tough. Figure out a way to do some blind testing. You'll be shocked at how difficult it is to tell the difference once you're not the one that's, you know, changing the thing. So yeah, do that. GemFan tri-blade, shaft, midnight gray, clear blue, and clear. Yeah, so 3 different colors. Looks like the usually this will drive the image. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. The images are kind of messed up. But yeah, really cool, really nice propellers. 0.8. So Jesse has a more accurate scale than I do. So here we go. 0.8115 grams for 4. 0.2 grams per prop. In the chat, if you'd like to If you'd like to speak directly to me, all you've got to do is type CiottiFPV, and if you do that, it'll light up an orange, like these wonderful people have done already. This is my full-time job. If you'd like to see these live streams continue and or just feel good about supporting a gangly bastard, head on over to CiottiFPV.com, and all the buttons help. Patreon helps me the most for sure. And you guys will get the biggest benefit from joining the Patreon page, I swear to God. It's only 10 cents a day, and we're on a little bit of a hot streak with 1 or 2 new patrons per live stream. So who's it going to be tonight? Somebody that I'm pointing at right now is not a patron. Do your boy a favor, hop onto the Patreon, give me $3 of your dollars a month, and in exchange, you will get access to a whole bunch of tech articles, a YouTube playlist with almost 90 videos. These are like unreleased Patreon-only live streams, half-finished edits, sketchy flying that I don't want to be public, all kinds of good stuff. You're going to get full Discord access to hang out with these beautiful people in the chat, and ask questions. And there's some other really cool stuff there, like the Stick End Fund. And you're also going to get access to a couple of Facebook groups. One of them for hanging out, another one for selling your stuff to a group of people that you can actually trust. So yeah, Patreon really does help a ton, and it's absolutely the only way that I can continue to do this. If you're on the $3 tier, consider hopping onto the $5 tier, because there are going to be some sticker mail-outs coming, similar to what Bot Grinder does, right? Like he's got, there's a certain tier where the perk is stickers every month. I'm not going to do it every month, but I'm starting to get loaded up with stickers, and I need to get some of them out of here. So I'm going to, from the $5 and up tier, I'm going to figure out how to randomize it and grab like 40 or 50 people, and then just mail them all envelopes with a super special secret sticker. And yeah, that's going to be the $5 and up tier. It'll be kind of like a bit of a raffle. You know, we do giveaways every other Monday. This Monday is a giveaway. The $5 and up tiers, you're all entered into the giveaways. So that's 6 giveaways a month for patrons. But this is going to be like an additional thing, you know, so that's only like 6 winners a month. By doing this, there's going to be another like 40, 45 winners. So that'll be pretty cool. So yeah, if you're on the $3 tier, consider jumping up to the $5 tier. It's only 7 more cents a day. I don't know math, but yeah, do it. You're going to love it. And you'll be entered. The $5 tier will put you into the Tiny Whoop and Toothpick giveaways, and maybe you'll win a giveaway, and that'll pay for like an entire year's worth of that tier. Over on Etsy, I've got some really fun stickers and some hardware. Buy yourself something nice and support your buddy. Over on Fiverr, you can work directly with me. I can help you fly better, tune better, and build better. Stop buying $80 ESCs that catch on fire. I've done that for you. Let me help you buy stuff that doesn't suck. It's well worth the $30 or $40 per half hour, depending on if we do a half hour, or you could do 2 hours, but 2 hours is a lot. If you've got a bunch of different plans or a bunch of different rigs that we're tuning to, we could do it in 2 hours, but usually you just need a half an hour or an hour. Over on Teespring, I've got some really fun shirts and apparel. Happy St. Patrick's Day, you dirty bastards! Get yourself a St. Patrick's CiottiFPV The Collective shirt. And your life will become immeasurably better. If you want to do a super chat, but you don't want the evil overlords at Google and YouTube to take 30%, you can just click this PayPal button, send me a PayPal, and then in the chat say, yo, at CiottiFPV, check your PayPal, and I'll check my email, and everybody's lives will become immeasurably better. Did I just say that? I think I just said that. Try not to say things twice in a row. HypnosFPV jumping on the goddamn Patreon train. Thank you, brother. You helped. I got welcome to the Gangly Gang. We are the gangliest of gangs. Hypnos is getting in on them. Words eluded him. Giveaways. He's getting in on the giveaways. That's what he's doing. And then there was a patron from the other day that I wanted to give a shout out. Yeah, there it is. Binks Mage, welcome to the Gangly Gang. Thank you for joining the Patreon. Very cool of you. I appreciate the support very much. Was there one more? Was there one more? I think there might have been one more. Let me take a quick look. There is. Sky Sailor. Sky Sailor. Welcome to the Gangly Gang. Thank you so much for joining. Very, very cool. And all right, here's a bunch of, man, I emails come in like waves, and I'll get like really far behind, and then I'll get caught up, and then I'll get really far behind, and then I'll get caught up. Xander sent me a message on Etsy. All right, I gotta get back to you, Xander. Oh, come on, email. That's fine. That's fine. And oh shit! NewBee Drone is sending me a set of the 0802 27000s. Ah! Very cool. So, if you didn't know, NewBee Drone sent me a BLV4 when they first came out. And I did a couple of videos on it. I flew it stock, I upgraded it. I worked together with them to try to figure out the OSD stuff, and they do now have it figured out, and they're working on it. And then, yeah, I flew it a bunch, and then I ended up putting it on these Tiny Whoop 0802 30,000s. But then I'd given Calvin like a bunch of feedback about like, hey, you know, with motor limiting, you kind of might as well make some more powerful motors, and then people can just limit them down. Like, so NewBee Drone focuses on newbies, thus the name NewBee Drone. And so their argument, rightly so, has always been like, we're catering towards new folks, so we don't make super powerful motors and stuff like that. Totally understand. But it looks like I've finally, I'm sure it's not just me, I'm sure others have been asking for this, but it looks like we've finally worn them down because 2 weeks ago, a week or two ago, they released an 0802 25,000 kV motor, and then a couple of days ago, they released an 0802 27,000 kV motor, and so I shot Kelvin a message last night. I feel like such a dick. I knew he was in China last week. So after to rewind a little bit, I took the BLV4 and I put it on 2S on the tiny lifter, and it's acting really funny. So I messaged him. So I think that was Whoop Wednesday last week, maybe. Don't quote me on that. So the day after the stream, I sent him a whole bunch of info. I told him everything that happened. But he was in China. He passed it along to his engineers, but he was in China. And like for some reason, I just assumed that he was home from China already. So I shot him a couple of messages yesterday, like, "Hey man, engineers get back to you." And then I said, "You looking for any publicity on the 0802 27,000s? I'd love to test them." And he sent me like a really quick reply, like, "Hey, still in China. Internet's terrible here." And I said, you know, no worries. I didn't think you were still in China. No rush at all. When you get back, just message me. We'll talk. But it looks like he had one of his guys, or maybe he did it, set up a little order, because I just got the order confirmation from NewBee Drone. Your order is on the way, 0802 27,000s. So that's rad. That'll be really, really cool. I'll be able to take these Tiny Whoop 0802s off here and so this will become an all NewBee Drone rig again. At the moment, this is on a BLV3, but Kelvin actually sent me two more of the BLV4s. One of them we're going to do a giveaway with at some point. I got to hold on to the both of them because we're still figuring out the 2S thing. But at some point here, as long as they don't blow up, which I doubt they will, one of these BLV4s will be a giveaway item. The other one is going to go back in here so that I have like a full-blown BLV4. I'll take this Mobula canopy off of it and I'll put You know what I'll do? I haven't shown you guys this. NewBee Drone has a new canopy out. I've been kind of keeping this under wraps because it wasn't, when Kelvin sent it to me, it hadn't been released. I'll use this. I'll put this new NewBee Drone canopy on it. It's got camera mounting holes on it. And I have 2 cameras that use the mounting holes. I have a Runcam Swift Nano 3, I think it is, and I have a Caddx Ant. So yeah, I'll mount those in here, and it'll be an all NewBee drone rig again, and that'll be really cool. So yeah, some more NewBee drone content coming. Hope you guys are into that. If not, well, screw you. One day I'm gonna get an email like, you said screw me, so I'm not watching you anymore. Up yours. I win. Hey, look at all these affiliate links. Affiliate links are wonderful, and if you don't use them, you're gonna die. I've got affiliate links to Weebleed FPV, NewBee Drone FPV Cycle, Amazon Get FPV, Oh My God Hdzero, Flywoo, Emacs, Banggood, Camera Butter, and AliExpress. And all you got to do with an affiliate link is click it before you check out, and then whoever's affiliate link it is, they will get 10. Oh boy, I wish it was 10. They will get 1 to 6% of your total order. Unfortunately, you have to hit an affiliate link. Like after you check out, it wipes out the affiliate link. So you have to hit an affiliate link every time at some point before you check out. What a lot of folks have done is replace their bookmarks with these affiliate links so that whenever they click their bookmark that goes to Get FPV, it automatically is hitting an affiliate link, and then it drops whoever that content creator's info is into their shopping cart, and then whenever they check out, it's just there and it's good to go. That works, I think, unless they delete your cart. Like if you leave a cart filled up for a month or something like that and they delete it, I think it'll probably wipe out the affiliate info as well. But hey, there you go. When you're doing an order on the internet, there's probably somebody with an affiliate link to that website. If it's not me, I don't care. Just help us all out. Like, creating content on YouTube is more challenging than you'd think. I know it seems easy because there's a whole bunch of big-ass YouTubers that make shitloads of money, but there aren't many of those YouTubers. Like, you'd be surprised at how many folks making content here on YouTube are just not making much money, myself included. It's a great gig, you know. When your job is awesome, you tend to not make a ton of money, and that's the sacrifice. And for me personally, I think it's worth it. My mental health has never been better, and that's kind of a big deal because it got awful bad a couple of years ago. So yeah, I'm gonna continue doing this for absolutely as long as I possibly can, and can't wait for you guys to come along with me. Ah! I don't know what that was about. But, yeah, type CiottiFPV into the chat if you want to talk to me. If you don't type it, I won't read your message. Bob Bruce tagged me and said, Happy Friday, everyone. Manjaro Black says, all right, is this the Neutron Hdzero testing soon? Hey, Manjaro Black, thank you for asking that. I would have forgotten. So, the reason that we're doing this Blackbox tuning is that I'm going to tear this rig apart. So this is this is a pretty close approximation of the full tilt racing builds that a lot of racers are using. I don't care about racing. I prefer the Modulus 6 based builds because the VTX is on the AIO. It doesn't matter that when you put it on 25 milliwatts, it outputs more than 25 milliwatts and bleeds all over other people because I fly alone. And yeah, it's lighter because the VTX is on the main AIO. It's significantly lighter than this. So yeah, I built this to see if there was some special magic about the racing builds, and there wasn't. I knew that was going to be the case, but it was really cool to do an all TinyWhoop build too. This is all stuff from TinyWhoop.com. But what I've found is that I'm just not flying. I'm just not flying this rig. So it's going to get torn apart, and this has the Beta FPV AIO on it that doesn't have a VTX in it. Previously, I'd said that I was going to buy, over on NewBee Drone, they sell a Neutron RC, which is a company, AIO that doesn't have a VTX on it. And previously I'd said that I was going to use that for my Hdzero build. I got this FPV Exchange actually very kindly sent me this Modulus 6 Hdzero to spec out motors to figure out what the best motors are for it. So we did that a long time ago. And then I tore it apart, and it's been torn apart ever since. And I want to get it back together. And so an AIO, so with Hdzero, you're running an external, a full board that's the VTX, right? So it's pointless to have an AIO with a VTX on it. There was a minute there where I was going to use the T-Motor AIO that they sent me for it, but that's stupid because the T-Motor 6 amp has a VTX on board. And it actually becomes a little weird because you got to figure out how to turn that onboard VTX off, right? So you got to like, yeah, it's a pain in the ass. So instead of spending $50+ on that Neutron AIO, what I realized a couple of nights ago, when I was about to place the NewBee drone order, and then I was like, wait a second. I have an AIO that doesn't have a VTX in it, and I don't fly the damn thing. What am I doing? So yeah, that's what this Beta FPV 5 amp AIO is destined for, is this Hdzero build, which I'm actually going to be putting into a Fractal 75 frame, which should be kind of cool for no props in view, and just, you know, to try the Fractal stuff again, see if it's good. I'm also planning on putting this into the... No, I'm not. Never mind. I was going to say, planning on putting it into the... Well, I'll test fit it. The Meteor 65 Pro frame with the propellers that are slightly bigger than these 1.2 31 millimeters, but not quite as big as the 1.6... I don't know what millimeter those are. But the problem is I'll test fit it, but what'll probably happen is the Happy Model VTX will probably hit the ducts on that Meteor 65 Pro frame, which is fine. So yeah, so because of all that, I want to get going on that Hdzero build, but I need this AIO, and this AIO has Blackbox on board. It's one of the very few with Blackbox on board. So that's what made me realize, hey, let me get a bunch of Blackbox stuff done on the indoor full-blown freestyle setups before I rip this apart. So that's kind of what spawned tonight's stream. So yeah, after tonight you won't see this build anymore. It's a totally fine build. It's just that it's heavier. It's just heavier because of the external VTX. And for freestyle around the house, there's just no reason for that. It's just easier and lighter, and it flies better to have the Mobula 6 ELRS 5 amp AIO with everything on board. And yeah, so there's I hate having rigs built that like I either don't want to fly or there's no reason to fly them. Like, believe it or not, like these all get flown and they all have a very specific purpose to them. Sometimes it's just testing, and that's why I initially built this. Like, this is a rig built to test and see if, you know, this style of build is better in some way. And I also built this to test out Blackbox. Like what I'm doing tonight, I've been dying to do for months. So yeah, it was worth it to do it, but I'm not going to keep it together just for the sake of keeping it together. I did the initial testing. Now I'm going to do the Blackbox testing, and we're going to move on. In other news, and the other reason that I want to pull this apart sooner than later is that there are Happy Model 5 amp AIOs coming with Blackbox and BMI 270 gyros. So at that point, this is totally useless, right? Because it's just heavier. It's not useless, but it's just heavier for no reason. That Happy Model 5 amp AIO with ELRS and Blackbox and a BMI 270 is everything that yeah. So I'm excited about that. I asked Jesse today if he has any of those AIOs coming, and he didn't even know they existed. So they won't be on tinywhoop.com super soon. I'm sure that they will be. But yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a wait for them. Let me give you guys the a link to the info. Excuse me. The info on that new all-in-one. So somebody tagged me. No, I saw the post, and then I replied to it, and then somebody replied to me. Here it is. Nate Schumann, here you go. All right, so I need to hit this, and then I can open it up. All right, so this should be the link. Dropping this into chat. That should be the link to this image with a bunch of the other info. So it looks like AliExpress, according to Quad66, it looks like AliExpress is selling them. Nate Schumann said that Tiny Whoop has some, but that's not true because I asked Jesse. And he didn't even know that it existed. So I think what Nate Schumann saw was just the regular old Crazy Bee F4 with the ICM gyro. But yeah, this is cool, man. I don't order from AliExpress, so I'm gonna wait for somebody stateside to get them in. So yeah, it's kind of fun. It's actually a really I'm super super excited by that. That's like ridiculous that we're gonna be able to get Blackbox and a BMI 270. Like, good on Happy Model for doing that. That's fantastic. Joey Whittaker says, CiottiFPV, if you could spare the weight, would you run GNB 27 over BT 2.0? I would not. GNB 27 has much more, like, there are way more reports, even though it's much less popular, there are way more reports of problems with GNB 24, mainly that they fit too loose and they lose connection. They're also a little bit heavier, and I think they have a little bit less resistance, but I'll bet that it's not much. It's not much less resistance than BT 2.0, but the real nail in the coffin is battery availability. And battery weight. The GNB 27 batteries all have a little set of wires coming off them, and then the connector, and that adds like half a gram to a whole gram, which is a lot. But yeah, battery selection is a huge problem with GNB 27. I think there's only like one battery with them. I believe it is a folded cell. I think it's a NewBee drone nitro connector. Don't quote me on that. But I think it is. So I think it is a good battery, but it's heavier. And it's just that one. If that goes out of stock, you're kind of screwed, right? With BT 2.0, we've got WeBleedFPV, we've got TinyWhoop.com, and Tattoo all making BT 2.0. And then we've also got extra battery options. We've got 450 mAh batteries with BT 2.0. We've got now a 550. I forget where I saw it. We've got 270s from TinyWhoop.com. So, yeah, BT 2.0 is just much more available, much more options. It's lighter. It seems to be more durable. I have heard that GNB fixed the no connectivity issue with the GNB 27. So apparently now the GNB 27s are better, but there's still all of these other issues. And yeah, BT 2.0 got there first, and it's hard to beat that, right? Like, there was a 6-month gap, minimum 6 months, maybe longer than that, where BT 2.0 was it. And then GNB 27 came out, but it's kind of, I have a funny feeling it's a little too late. But we will see. Brandon Woodford says, Pyrodrone and RDQ also have the new 1208 Tri and Quad. Thank you, dude. I did not see that. That's awesome. But in my opinion, you should support TinyWhoop.com or WeBleedFPV. Rock Crawler says, hey. CMYK says, what's up? Elijah Butler says, how do you stream your analog feed here on YouTube? There's a silly little thing on Amazon that you can find, I think, by searching ROTG. Wait a second. No, I don't have it in my... it's ROTG01. There we go. Yeah, so... well, here's the search result. All right, here's the URL. So there's two versions of it. There's a single antenna version and there's a diversity version. They both work shockingly well. The first one of these that I bought was the diversity one, and it did not work. I then bought the single antenna version, and it worked great. And then I then bought another one of the diversity ones, and it works great. It's what I've been using lately. The single antenna one I'm gonna put up in the living room to hopefully be able to fly out in front of the house and stream this summer. But yeah, they work really, really well. I think this is, no, that's out of stock anyway. So yeah, it's these two, $28 and $36. Either one of them are going to work great. They are USB-C into your computer, and then in OBS, it's just going to show up as a video source. I think you can also hook them up to Androids, like they're showing you here in the image. But I have an iPhone. I can tell you that I've never heard of anybody being able to get the feed into an iPhone. Maybe you can, but I've never heard of anybody doing it. I think there's just nobody's written the software to do it. Oh, they make it in white? Oh, that's an interesting white. That's a very dark white. Huh. I'll be damned. Yeah, they work shockingly well. You wouldn't want to fly through it. There's a definite latency to it, so don't think that you're going to be able to fly. I mean, you could fly through it for sure. It's just not going to be, you're not going to love it. But yeah, you can get it into your computer. You can record DVR off of it. You can, I don't know what else you can do. Oh, Raven187 says, I'm running on like 2 hours of sleep right now, so wait till I start flying. It's going to be a real shit show. Raven187 says there is, and the new Happy model ELRS is UART based rather than SPI based. Raven87 says there is a tiny UART based Blackbox logger being made on the ELRS Discord. It's going to be the smallest and lightest on the market by far. That's pretty slick. I like that a lot. That being said, I've always been a little bit suspect about an external so there's always been the open logger, but you've got having your Blackbox record gyro and then recording setup on an external PCB, right? An external chip or board or whatever the hell you want to call it. You then have to secure that to the quad, which on a tiny whoop is a real pain in the ass because we got like no room. The bigger problem that I see with it is that usually you're gonna VHB it. You're usually gonna double-sided tape it, and then it's gonna have its own little bit of wobble. So for me, I always want Blackbox to be coming from the gyro that is on the flight controller that is handling all of the PIDs and whatnot. I would actually love to see somebody test that. I would love to see if there is a difference, because there might not be. It might be such a small difference that, yeah, it's negligible. But yeah, that's always felt weird to me. Also, by adding a board on top of your AIO, you're now changing the weight of that board, and that board could then have its own weird vibration that happens from that other PCB being VHB'd to it. So yeah, and I also don't really use Blackbox all that much, so I don't really care too much about that. But I do kind of care. But again, I would always rather have the Blackbox be on the flight controller because that's looking at the actual gyro being used. Although I guess the open logger doesn't have its own gyro. Yeah, I guess it doesn't have its own gyro. It's just basically a memory chip with a UART. So that's a little bit better. But still, having another board being VHB'd to your AIO is going to change things. Maybe it's negligible, but yeah, I would always rather there be Blackbox on board. I absolutely love that that they're making a smaller and lighter one, because the open logger is like just big enough to be a total pain in the ass to mount on tiny whoops, which is why nobody's really done it. Recently, a couple of folks did do it, and it seems to work totally fine. But yeah, for it to be smaller, it's awesome. Aaron Mueller says, noob question, but what is Blackbox? It's actually a great question. Blackbox is a logging. It's basically how you log data. from your quad when you're flying. So the quads have a gyro on board. The gyro is what senses all of the different motions. They sense that motion at either 4,000 clicks a second, or whatever, not clicks, but 4,000 times a second or 8,000 times a second. That's what your PID loop frequency refers to. You can set your PID loop to like 4K or 8K. With certain gyros, you can set it to 3.2K. That number, 3.2K, 4K, 8K, that's 8,000, 4,000, 3,200 cycles per second. So that's how frequently it is looking at every little bit of motion. So Blackbox allows you to log all of that data coming out of the gyro, or a bunch of other things. You can tell the Blackbox to log other stuff. You can tell it to log feed forward or all kinds of stuff. But yeah, it's basically just a way of recording that data live. So you take your rig up and you fly it around and you record all that data, and then you can look at that data and determine if you need more filtering or less filtering. It helps to dial in your PIDs. It's pretty complicated. There are a ton of great resources out there. Mark Spatz, Chris Rosser. Mark Spatz is the main one. Mark Spatz's channel is UAV Tech. But Chris Rosser uses it and talks about it a lot. And then here in our chat, Brandon's Baked Beans is my go-to guy. Brilliant dude who pours through Blackbox logs all the time and makes amazing tuning suggestions, and he's helped me out a bunch. So I see him in the chat right now. So we're actually going to get this thing up in the air so that hopefully we can steal a little bit of his time while we've got him. But the first thing that I want to do is just like put a battery through this to get used to this build and this camera, because it is significantly different than what I normally fly. And I am exhausted right now, so I'll probably need a minute to warm up. Although Blackbox flights are not really all that exciting. You'll see in a minute. But yeah, I do just want to get this thing up in the air for a minute here and take a breath.
Welcome to OpenTX.
Actually, here's what I'll do. I'll take a first log. Brandon, are you cool with this? Can I take one log right now? And then if there's anything drastically wrong with the tune, let me know and I change it. That way, when we're testing the props and the motors, you're not tempted to like tell me to make a change to the tune. I can't imagine there's anything. Although this is the rig that I've tuned the least, so there could be a big opportunity for improvement here. If it's not like a big thing, then I would rather just sort of leave it alone, because the tune is not really going to affect what we're doing here, which is basically like looking at response times all that much, if at all. And/or, Brandon, is there anything that you want me to do? Like, do you want me to crank the feed forward up? But let me throw this up in the air, and then I will. Oh yeah, so this rig has the it goes into full-blown pit mode when it's at when you first turn it on. Unbelievable how different this rig feels to the rest. All right, just checking that I had the right scene on. Easy, little fella. Easy, easy, easy. Oh boy, hold on. Let me go. Let me go. All right, so it's up tilt. This rig is very low up tilt. What was that? That was a propeller coming off, wasn't it? I heard the propeller hit the ceiling. There was one propeller that I thought was a little bit loose on there. Son of a bitch. And they're clear propellers. No! No! Did I just step on it? Oh my god, I stepped on it. There would have been no way to have found that. I do have more of these props, but hold on. Let me Hey, Robin Duckett with a $19.99 super chat. Dude, thank you so much. Super kind of you. So when a propeller falls off, I'll show you on this camera. You just take your fine-tipped tweezers and you put it into the propeller hole at an angle, and just like run it around in there. Just like spin the prop with that sharp thing in there. And what you're going to do is just like score up the inside of the hole as the little propeller is, as the pointy thing is pushing against the plastic. It's going to dig into the plastic and the outsides are going to raise. And then that makes the prop fit better. You'll feel it. It fits better on the shaft. Oh, and I got to, yeah, this one's really loose. I got to do this one again, actually. You will eventually break the tips off of your fine-tipped tweezers, as I recently found out. So don't use expensive tweezers to do this, but yeah. Took a long time for that to happen. Oh yeah, it's much better. Well, no, it's still a little bit too loose. You can do it through the bottom, and you can also do it through the top. And yeah, again, you're just putting the, you're just scoring up the inside of the mounting hole. I'm putting little ridges in there. Okay, this should be good now. Oh yeah, much better. Oh yeah. That's what we needed. All right, cool. Oh, she getting hot. Ah. Oh, that's in the fucking blanket, isn't it? Oh boy. Ooh, laptop got me. Oh, wow, this is a little rough right now. Let's just chill. Let's just go for a little cruise. Ah! Let's just relax. So this rig has the Tiny Whoop 0702 30,000 kV motors. It's the actually I almost think it's the frame in view that's like throwing me off a little bit. Feels very weird. I'm really struggling here, as you guys can see. Oh, come on. I was going for the world's most laid out Matty flip on that one. Let's try it again. Oh, there we have it. Oh, you jerk. Ah. No. Ah. No. Let me go. Please. Come on, please. Just. Walk of shame. Shame. Ugh. Okay, hold on. I gotta set up this other gate. I forgot about this gate. There it is. Okay. And back to it. All right, so I'm gonna do the log on the next battery. Put your tip in the hole and work it around in there. Ah! Oh boy, that was a funny bounce. It was a funny angle, Tyrone. When you reverse, things come from behind you. Okay, so we're going to do the log on this next battery. That was just a full-blown shit show battery. Here we go. So we're going to do a really quick log here and fire it over to Brandon's Baked Beans. He can take a quick look, see if there's any, like, huge issues with it. And then we'll be good to go. So when you're doing a Blackbox log, you're going to want to put Blackbox on a switch that you can flip. Wait. Hold on. I've been in Blackbox mode this whole time. Hold on. So I'll give you the whole Megillah. Here we go. Here's the whole Megillah. In beta flight, you are going to put Blackbox on a switch. And this is what that's going to look like. I'm gonna wipe the Blackbox out that's in there, and then we're gonna get it going. So in Betaflight, in your modes tab, there is an option that says Blackbox, and oh, okay. So I wasn't logging. Okay, so Blackbox is auxiliary switch down. Cool. All right, good. So yeah, you're gonna put Blackbox on a separate switch that you can toggle. You want to turn it on after you've already taken off, and you want to try to not have any crashes in there. So I'll show you in a minute how that's going to kind of go. And then down here in Blackbox, use space. So this is filled, so I need to erase it. But what I want to show you is, for most stuff, you want gyro scaled in your debug mode, and then for the logging rate, you want 1/2 1600 hertz. It would actually probably benefit Brandon if I went to 1/1 3200 hertz, but that might overload the CPU. Basically, when you do this half, it logs all the way up to 500 hertz. If you do 1/1, it logs all the way up to 1000. Not much happens after 500 though, so it's pretty safe to do this one. All right, so we've now erased the flash. Free space is 8 megabytes. We are now good to go. And that's pretty much it. So you take the log and then you get the log off. I'll show you that in a minute. But let me show you the best way to fly while you're logging. If you yourself or somebody else is going to be trying to get the rig tuned properly. You want to try not to hit anything, because when you hit something, it leaves a big, huge spike in the gyro. So leave it off, take the rig off, get it into a little bit of a hover, and now when my OSD goes off, that's going to be me logging. It doesn't normally do that. That's something that I have set up. So I'm now logging, and I'm going to really try hard not to hit anything. So you're going to move the throttle up and down. You're going to do some throttle pumps, as we like to call them. 0 throttle to 100, and everywhere in between. All right. Now you're going to do flips and rolls, and again, you got to try not to hit anything when you do this. So you're going to do a right roll. You're going to do a right roll. You're going to do a left roll. A left roll. You can do more than that, but you don't really have to. And then you're going to do front flips and back flips. Back flip. Try not to hit anything. And then we're going to do some front flips. Whew. And then a front flip. All right. And I mean, with a tiny whoop, you can kind of stop there. Especially if you haven't crashed yet. But getting some momentum and then swinging it around like this can sometimes bring out some prop wash. So if you can do that without crashing, it's a nice thing to do. And then you want to do yaw. Do some little yaw snaps. Careful, when you yaw, it adds throttle, so you could go banging into the ceiling, and that's not going to do any good. And now I'm going to flip the switch and turn the Blackbox log off. And that's pretty much it. Next time I'll do that upstairs because the ceiling is a lot higher, and it'll just be a little bit easier. And we can maybe get it into some actual prop wash. Kind of wish I'd done that just now, to be honest. But that should be plenty for Brandon to hopefully take a quick look at. So we are now going to plug back in to USB. And we're going to fire Betaflight up again, connect. We're going to come down to the Blackbox. Wow, I used half the storage. Jesus. And you're going to go activate mass storage device mode. This is now going to put the flight controller on your desktop as an external hard drive. And there are going to be at least two files. Betaflight all. BTFL all and then BTFL 001. This is the one that you want. If you have multiple, I mean, it's whatever, but they're locked for some reason. So you got to go into, on Max at least, you got to go into get info, and where the hell's the unlock thing? Where the hell? What? Where is it? What? Oh, because I haven't copied it yet. You gotta copy it to your desktop, and then you can unlock it. Sorry. All right, so it's on our desktop. Now we're gonna do get info, and now we can click the locked button, and now it's unlocked. And I'm gonna go over to, my goggles still on? Of course they are. Now we can unplug. We can unplug the quad because we already pulled it onto our desktop. And now I'm going to shoot this over to Brandon on... let me just change the name real quick, though. On Discord. Starting point. All right, Brandon, it is going right now over on the Discord. So I'm gonna get caught up on chat. Hopefully, Brandon can take a quick look. Let me know if there's any like huge problems or opportunities for like a huge decrease in filter latency. Let's actually, let's take a look at where the filters are at, and I'll just kind of. I already gave you guys my main thought process on filter tuning, but I can kind of show it to you a little bit better with it up here. Well, you know what I'll do too? I'm going to need to do this anyway, so I'm going to erase the black box. So, and I mean, if we don't need to make any huge changes, Brennan says initial look is good. Going to look at filters. If we don't need to make any huge changes, then that log... Oh, no. That was not a fresh battery. I want to do the proper logs on fresh batteries. So, yeah, that log is just a starting point. Wow, I have spent some time on this. So this is pretty unique to me. I have a bit of a different tuning sort of methodology than most. Basically, my tuning is all based around like a more cinematic look to the footage. So I love D-gain because that slows down the beginning and ends of moves. So I've got the damping D-gain slider all the way up to 1.25. Tracking for P&I gains, I don't know why I have this at 1.05. I'm doing most of the work with the master multiplier, but yeah, this is whatever. This is silly. I'm going to move this down to 1.0. Stick response, which is feed forward. I don't like the way feed forward looks in the footage, so I turn feed forward down. I usually turn it down a lot more than this, but I don't know, whatever. Dynamic damping D-max, I really like the way that handles prop wash, so I just leave it at about 1. The eye gains, I don't know. Eye gains are weird. They have it has a very small effect on the flight performance, so like you can move this all over the damn place and really barely be able to tell a difference. I don't know. I can never tell if it's better when it's higher or lower. Lately I've been putting it a little bit lower, and that's where it is now. Pitch, damping, and tracking allows you to turn up or down the gains only on the pitch axis with tiny whoops. They do have the battery running front to rear, so there is a little bit more weight on the pitch axis, so I am going to move it up to 1.1. I don't know why I hadn't previously, but that's about it. On like a 5-inch freestyle rig with a heavy-ass GoPro on the nose, I like putting these all the way up to 1.2, or even 1.25 or 1.3, but yeah. And then master multiplier, this moves everything around. The master multiplier here is the easy button for tuning. If you don't know how to tune, leave everything at 1.0, fly the rig. If it's not being a pain in the ass, move the master multiplier up to 1.2, fly it again. If it's not being a pain in the ass, move it up to 1.4. Just keep going until the rig starts sounding or acting funny, and then back it off a little bit. And that's like a really good way to just super simply tune. I'm going to change a couple of simple little things here. All right, Brandon says, remove the notch on D-term filter. Lower dynamic notch Q from 400 to 300. It's possible that D-term filter slider can move up to 1.15 with D-term low pass filter 2 as PT2. That's all my notes on the filters. So, all right, so that's good to go. Why is the dynamic idle at 0? Is this thing not running bidirectional? It is running bidirectional. That's weird. That's very weird. I'm going to turn the dynamic filtering on and put it at 30. That's a good round number. That's weird. I don't know why that was off. I usually like to have that on. Oh man, I did not fully tune this. I did slider tuning possibly in the OSD, and then I didn't touch any of these other things. But the things that you see me doing here are very subtle, so don't even worry about them. Rates have nothing to do with PIDs, but I just like to make sure that the rates are where I want them to be. Wow, I have a lot of D-term filter authority on here. So this D-term notch filter here that I added, this is from a Quad 66 video. Quad 66 was one of the guys that very recently did some actual black box tuning with an open logger on a Tiny Whoop. And he added this D-term notch filter here on a very similar rig to this, but it's not an identical rig to this. So Brandon says to turn this off, so I'm going to turn it off. Lower dynamic notch Q factor from 400 to 300. That's going to make the dynamic notch filter a little bit wider to cover a little bit more noise. And then he says, it's possible that D-term filter slider can move up to 1.15. I'm going to move it up to 1.1 with the D-term low-pass filter 2 set as PT2. And that's right in here. And that's where we're going to leave it. None of those are like huge changes. We could probably turn this gyro low pass 2 off, but it is the gyro low pass filter with the slider moved all the way up like this is really not, there's like very, very, very little latency being added by that. So it's probably really not worth it. So yeah, there we go. Let's throw it back up in the air. And this will potentially be the GemFan Tri-Blade 0702 test, like proper test. I'm gonna put a fresh WeBleed FPV battery on here. Hopefully, it's not a mess. If it's, well, let's do this. Let me put another fresh battery on it and just make sure that it's not a mess, because we did change a couple of things there. Let's just make sure it's not a mess before, because I only have 4 of these fresh batteries charged up for some reason. I don't know why. I should have charged a whole bunch. Well, wait, actually, I only have 5 of them right now. I sent one of them out with the with that live auction 32,000 kV rig last week. All right, let's see. Oh wow. Oh nope. Seems. Well, it had a little moment of weirdness. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So those are, it's dropping an arm. On the last battery, I was not, when you go full stick roll like this and yaw, it really asks the motors for a lot. But it is a good way to, like, it is a good little test to do. I hadn't done it, so it very well might have been doing that before. The Mobula 6 AIO is really good about not dropping an arm like that. But yeah, let's just say. It's a bunch of noise in the video. Was there this much video noise a minute ago? Wow, okay, it is not happy. big bunch of... Oh, man, okay. Maybe I will be buying that Neutron AIO. This is not a tune. This is more than likely not a tuning issue. It's much more likely that this is a this AIO sucks issue. Or not necessarily sucks, but is on its way out. Tune feels completely fine. Oh boy, you see that big hang? That was not me on the sticks, that was it doing that. Oh my god, come on now. Just out of curiosity, let me put it back and see if it's... I wish I'd been throwing it around like that on the previous battery. I can't imagine that that's I can't imagine that that is due to the tune. Oh, well, why don't I just... if I get it to do that, it's going to hit the ground and it's going to look like shit. Well, all right. Yeah, so here's one of the great things about Blackbox tuning is if I'm logging while it does that, in theory, Brandon can see what the hell's going on. So, and this to me is like the best thing about Blackbox is that you can actually troubleshoot shit. I can usually troubleshoot shit because I've been doing this for so goddamn long, and I just know, like, when I jam the sticks in a certain direction and then it arm drops, like, I just kind of know what's going on. But logging is now on. Oh, there was one. Oh, but I hit that gate. There was another one, but there's a bunch of crashes in there. Although I guess that's fine because we're troubleshooting this behavior. We're not troubleshooting... There's another one. So it's when I do... No, it's both. So Brandon will be able to see... There was a pretty big one. That should be fine. That should be plenty of occurrences of it happening. I don't... All that I think Brandon's going to see, though, is it just... I think it's on the ESC side. I'm pretty sure that it's on the ESC side of things. That's typically what it is. When either the FETs, I think it's when the FETs start to kind of shit the bed. So what I think Brandon's gonna see is the motor command go all the way up to 100%, and then the gyro is just gonna come off of set point. But you never know. Maybe there'll be some magic that he can kind of see in there. So let's take a look. Blackbox, and we're going to activate mass storage. It's going to pop up on the desktop over here, and then we want O2. The first one was just when I was idling on the ground. So we're going to go O2, and then I'm going to get info and unlock it. And then we're going to change the name to Arm Drops. And I'm going to shoot that over to Brandon in Discord. Brandon, thank you so much for hanging out, man. If for any reason you have to go, man, don't even hesitate. Like, just don't... I don't want you to feel like guilt-tripped into staying. It's super cool that that you help at all. So let me plug back into Betaflight and oh, good call, Brandon. Dynamic idle. Yeah. Dynamic idle. That's what this is. This is that. Brandon, will you be able to tell if it's dynamic idle related? This is definitely a dynamic idle issue. That is the thing that I changed. That actually would affect this. The filtering changes have nothing to do with what this behavior that's happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to crank the dynamic idle up. I'd previously put it down to 30, which is pretty low. The happy model boards can handle that. But we're going to double it. Let's go up to 60. We'll sacrifice a little bit of hang time, but that's okay. I want to make a big change and then put it back up in the air to see if that fixes it. Brandon says, you did turn on dynamic idle. Is this the rig that initially would not fly on dynamic idle? One of the first streams with that beta FPV 5 amp AIO. You know, I don't remember that. But I love that you guys are paying attention. Because my guess is yes. My guess is that's exactly it. Let's see what it's like on 60. I find it very weird that I wouldn't have, you know, you guys heard me a minute ago saying like, fuck, I don't even have dynamic idle turned on. What the hell's going on here? I run dynamic idle on everything. So it's, a little weird that I didn't have it on this. But I think we're about to confirm that the reason that I didn't have it turned on. So let's take a quick look. Dynamic idle will drop the motor RPMs down very low. Oops, that was me. Nah, still doing it. There it is, still doing it. Oh shit. Where did it fall behind? That's a blue box. So that means it's over here. Right? Nope. Where the hell is it? Where'd you go, you little bastard? Oh, there it is. It's over there. Nope, there it is. Okay, so that obviously did not fix it. BrandonBakedBeans says it's desyncing. So is this 96 kilohertz? Nope, it's 48. Dynamic idle didn't work for me on 96, he says. Let's turn the dynamic idle all the way off. Since between 30 and 60, it didn't really have much of an effect. And we'll see if it gets better. Bet you it does. Weird that dynamic idle won't work. That's strange. Desyncing in the logs. There he is. So to turn dynamic idle off, all you do is use a value of 0 in here. The value of 0 in this field turns dynamic idle off, and it turns on the regular, I don't know, idle, which is at 6. That's weird. I don't think I hit save. Nope, I didn't hit save. 0 and save. And let's see if that's better. All the way up to 100 and it still wasn't happy. Now I'm kind of starting to remember that. Thank you, Brandon, for paying attention. And yeah, there's the power of the power of the collective, or the gangly gang right there. Let's try this out. So that's zeroing it out. That's going to turn dynamic idle off, and it's just going to use regular old idle. This battery is a little low right now. That was me. Good to go. Weird, yo. Weird. Okay. Problem solved. So, I left the filters alone. They seem to be totally fine. I made a couple subtle little changes, so I think we're good. This battery is. I think we're good to start the actual testing here, which is basically looking at response time. One of the cool things about Blackbox is you can. Brandon, gyro scaled is the right thing to log to look at response time, right? I don't need to change the change what it's logging. Cool. So our first test is going to be gyro scaled. Awesome. 702s. 30,000, yeah, 702, 30,000 kV, and the brand new GemFan 1208 tri-blades with a fresh battery. And we're just going to do the boring-ass logging stuff again. We're going to do a bunch of rounds of those boring-ass logging moves. So, sorry, but, you know, science ain't always super interesting until you get the data out of it. And I'm going to go upstairs to do this because I'll have a lot more room. All right. And I can even put it into prop wash upstairs, which will be really cool. Hopefully Felix is not watching TV. All right, great. So when the OSD goes off, I'm going to start logging. Here we go. Starting off with some kind of prop wash throws. And now I'm just going to give a bunch of different throttle openings. I say throttle openings because cars. And now we're going to do flips and rolls. And yaw. All right. Try a little bit harder to get into the prop wash. Will not prop wash. And logging off. See, that's the thing. Like, you don't need a crate. Like, just by moving the master multiplier up, prop wash just goes away. As long as you have a good powertrain. That's one of the beautiful things about these really high KV 702s is that you don't have to go crazy. You don't have to go crazy with tuning because your mechanical system is really well set up. Like the 702s have a very light bell so that they can accelerate and decelerate very quickly, which is the majority of what the PID tune is doing. And then these propellers, the bi-blades, and now these really lightweight GemFans, they're nice and light and they make good thrust. So the mechanical system is in a really good place. And again, because of that, we don't have to go ballistic tuning. And I would always rather have a good mechanical system than have to rely on the PID tune. I should say, more specifically, I would rather have a good mechanical system than have to go crazy with the PID tune, right? Like, to getting really aggressive with the PID tune is kind of putting a Band-Aid on a bad mechanical system. Sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes there aren't the right motors available, or... Oh man, I got a bunch of files in here. Hold on. I assume it's the very last file, but I can always tell by the size. Yeah, 2.7. Okay, so dragging this onto the desktop here. Brandon's dropping some real serious knowledge in the chat. So if you're just listening to this stream, see if you can get into the chat and read what he's writing. So we are going to go and name this one 0702-30K- 12 is it 8? 1208, I think. Dash 1208. Yep. 1208. .bbl. Why B? There's no B. 0702 30,000's 1208. Yep, that's it. Coming at you, Brandon. And cool. I'm also curious that the other in addition to response time, the other thing that I'm curious about is, like, are there any other I wonder if Brandon will be able to see anything else in the logs that's different between the propellers or between the motors. The problem that we might run into is that these motors are a different amount beat up than the other motors that I'm going to put on here. So I'd be more interested in the props. Although we might run into the same thing with the props. Like these are not all fresh props. These are a little bit worn in, and God only knows how worn the one set is versus the other set. What am I doing? Blackbox, erase flash. All right, cool. But yeah, we'll see. I'm not doing this super scientific. I don't have any fresh GemFan bi-blades. If I had fresh GemFan bi-blades, I would have put those on, as well as a fresh set of these 1208s, which I do have, but because of the fact that these bi-blades are going to be a little bit beat, I put the set of 1208s that we were flying last on Wednesday. So, yeah. But if anything, the bi-blades are more beat up than these tries. Okay, disconnecting, and so now the first change we're going to make is propellers. We're going to move from these 1208 tries to GemFan buys. I'll be pretty... I'm super curious if we'll be able to tell a difference in response time. In theory, I think we should be able to, because well, I guess they're not that different in weight. These, I'm going to use the less banged up set of bi-blades. This set of black dyed bi-blades look, yeah, these are definitely less beat up. All right, so, and these 1208s only have like maybe a half a dozen batteries on them, so this we should be okay. I think there is going to be a drastic difference in the motors though, because I think these 702 motors are fucking whooped. I think these are the ones that I pounded the shit out of months and months and months ago. But we'll see. I don't know. I think this is a cool little look at what's going on. Brandon's taking a look at the log now. Manjaro Black says, "Get the Neutron. Resistance is futile." Brandon Vorder says on that stream. Oh no, we got that. Brandon says, comparing the starting point with the desyncing log, we have a lot more noise now in the traces. I wonder if that notch was helping after all. Well, shit. You want me to switch it back? I won't switch it back for this testing. Well, you tell me, Brandon. If you want me to switch it back, I will put this fresh battery on the charger, just in case you need me to switch it back. If it's going to affect this testing, I want to switch it back. If it's not going to affect this testing, I'm not going to switch it back yet, until we're done with these, just to keep it as controlled as possible. All right, so GemFan buys are going on. And there we go. All right. Okay. All right. I erased the log. The buys are on. They are all in the correct orientation. Fresh battery number 2. No changes whatsoever to the tune or anything like that. Come on, get in there. Get in there. The reason I had that notch in there is that on Quad 666's video, he had a little spike in the waterfall at whatever that frequency was, and then he put that notch on there and it just smashed it. Are you seeing a spike by chance, Brandon? Don't tell me. We'll figure it out later. Okay. Coming up, and we're gonna do the exact same thing. It's gonna get a little boring. Look at the amp readout, 14.1 amps at idle. Good luck with that. Whoa. All right, well, these bi-blades are definitely not as well balanced as those new GemFan tri-blades. It might just be because I was beaten up on these bi-blades at some point. Those 1208s are definitely a little bit more fresh. But yeah, we are definitely approaching overtuned right now. But in terms of response time, I don't think that's going to affect anything. So I'm going to flip the OSD off and the Blackbox on. And we're going to get this thing going. All right. Got some flips and rolls going. It's so weird for me to do flips and rolls. I just don't do them. normally. Oh, you know what? I think air mode is off right now. I think when I go down into this switch position, it turns air mode off. But again, I don't think that will affect. I don't think that'll affect these test results here. Try to get into prop wash. All right, and then let's try the big room power loop. Oh, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, fuck. For response time, I don't think it'll matter, but I am going to do another log here. Now the fucking battery is not at the same output power. God damn it. Hopefully that first log will work, but I'm going to get a second log. I almost hit the fan again. All right. Forgot to do y'all. Okay, and log off. All right, so hopefully that first log will work because, yeah, this is on the edge of being overtuned. This is overtuned for sure. Yeah, hopefully that first log will work because the battery was more charged. If not, that second log should be fine. BrandonBakedBeans says, I don't want to use that notch. Let's set D-term low pass filter 2 type to biquad, and you can set the RPM harmonics to 1. It should be, the RPM harmonics should already be on 1, I hope. Dynamic notch kind of sucks too. Let's try 2 count. All right, so we're going to do that after. All right, so yeah, Brandon is having to be a parent right now. So I'm just going to keep going with these logs. If Brandon can sneak in some stuff, awesome. If not, that's fine too. So let's, and I'm not going to change anything on the tune. Now I'm going to change the motors. We're going to take a minute, but first things first, let's get this log off of here. And yeah, we can figure some shit out. I don't know why I said figure some shit out. That doesn't make any sense. Brady Woodford says the current sensor when set to virtual is about 70 to 75. I don't think we need to set this one to virtual though. I think this has a yeah, this one has a current sensor. It's just the scale is wrong. So let me move this scale to, let's make a huge change in the scale. We'll put it to 4,000. Again, that's not going to affect anything that we're doing here. So we're going to go to Blackbox, activate mass storage mode. Here we go. And why is there only one log? Why is there only one log? There should be 2 logs. Okay. I think because I turned Blackbox off and on pretty quickly, it's all going to be in the same log. I think we're fine. Unlock it, and then this one we're going to title 0702 30K dash the GemFan biblade is 1210 is the designation. Blackbox log. All right, cool. And dropping that one on Brandon. Maybe he can take a look at it, maybe not. Okay, cool. 1210 and that's good to go. Let's unplug it and plug it back in to get it out of mass storage mode. And now we're gonna wipe the that Blackbox out. Yeah, look, it's used space 4.3 megabytes. So yeah, it's both of those logs are in there. Cool. Erase flash, yes. And now we're gonna change some motors. So this will take another couple of seconds. Man, I'm just absolutely exhausted. My sleep has been real bad over the past couple of months. This whole year, I mean, my whole life, but okay, good to go. Disconnect and unplug. All right, so now we're gonna have some downtime. Let me take these goggles off, and this will give me a second to get caught up on chat. So that's kind of cool. Actually, I might as well pull these props off here. Usually, the GemFan biblades are the best balanced tiny whoop propellers. I had previously commented with these 1208s, I think on Wednesday, that like they seem to be really well balanced. Kind of cool that I was right about that, because yeah, there's a drastic difference between these two, and I didn't change anything. Just the propellers, so that's cool. But I do have a pretty aggressive. This is a fairly aggressive PID tune on this rig, right? Like I was really trying hard to put it into prop wash, and it just absolutely refused. So, you know, this powertrain and this PID tune and the filtering are, yeah, they're pretty aggressive. You guys saw the filter sliders, right? Like they're all over the damn place. BrandonBakedBeans says, no, just get 45 to 60 seconds of flight, no crashes, and don't get prop wash if you can. Don't get prop wash if you can avoid them. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to keep doing the testing the way that I have been so that it's the same across the board, but now I know. Ethan W. says, which 1S charger do you use? Thanks to the lovely people in chat, I've got a ViFly Whoop Store, which is the one that you want. If you go to Joshua's website, fpvknowitall.com, he's got a tiny whoop section of his website that I've done pretty much most of. And there's a couple different charger options on there. The Whoop Store is on there, and it's the best one. It's not really that expensive. Ethan also says, I have a battery checker charger from BetaFPV, the charger from BetaFPV, and the ViFly Whoop charger. I think the ViFly Whoop charger is my favorite. Yeah, for sure. It's my favorite too. I refused to buy myself one because I had a bunch of chargers that worked fine. They worked okay. But these beautiful people here in chat eventually were like, idiot, if you don't get one of these Whoopsters, we're going to kill you. And I kept saying no. And then they said, all right, we're just going to super chat you however much it is. And then they did that. And then I was like, well, I could just take their money and run. But I might as well do what they ask and buy the damn thing. And of course they were right. And like it wasn't a matter of like it's not that I doubted anyone. Like I was sure that it was better because of all the reviews and because I trust these guys. But it was just that like it's, you know, I don't make much money, so I really try to not spend money unless I absolutely have to. But yeah, there's that. And the other chargers were still working. At some point I said, like, if one of these chargers dies, or like, I hope one of these chargers dies because I would love to get one. But yeah, I just kind of tend to be like that. Like, I will just keep using something until it's on fire before I spend money. Because I've been broke forever. Manjaro Black said, not forever, but for a long time. Manjaro Black says, do you know why my receiver disconnects when I crash, then reconnects after 10 seconds? The only thing I can think of is that sounds like maybe some sort of a brownout situation where when you crash, the whatever the receiver is hooked up to, I'm assuming it's hooked up to the flight controller, which has a 5-volt BEC on it, or BEC. My guess would be that 5-volt BEC, when you crash, is essentially shitting the bed for a second, and then that's making the receiver shut off. That's a hard thing to troubleshoot. The first thing that I would do is replace the receiver, because that's a lot less work, because it could just be the receiver on its way out. So replace the receiver first. That's the easiest fix. If that doesn't fix the problem, it's the flight controller or whatever's powering the receiver, probably the flight controller. So yeah, some problems in FPV, you the only way to solve them is by replacing gear. It's super annoying, but what's nice is like, so if you buy a replacement receiver, solder it up, and it doesn't work, well, now you've got a spare receiver. And like, you're gonna break everything. So like, no matter what, buying a replacement to do some testing to try to get your shit working, like, no matter what, it's gonna get used. Because as you fly more and more, you'll crash harder and harder and harder, and just everything breaks eventually. So yeah, that would be my my troubleshoot on that. Hey, Maggie home. All right, so 0802, tinywhoop.com, 0802, hex, 30,000 kV motors are going on here. These are the lightweight 0802s. I'm kind of stacking the deck against the 702s as much as I can. I do have a set of the regular 0802s, which are just like the 702s, but bigger. But realistically, if I'm going to fly one of these rigs with 802s, it's going to be these. These lighter weight 802s are a little bit less durable, but they're still pretty durable. So, yeah. But I've already kind of been down that road, and I really do prefer the 702s. I'm more doing this because, like, it's just fascinating to me. The whole response time thing is fascinating because the way that you get really good flight performance is by having a very low response time. You can change the response time a little bit by cranking the PIDs up to hell, but the PIDs are always going to be limited by like the electrical noise in the system and shit like that. So and not to mention that the mechanical system always has a much bigger effect on the response time, which is why if you have a good mechanical system, you don't really need to do much PID tuning. So yeah, this will be hopefully a really interesting way to debunk, not really debunk, but just learn more about the benefits of 702s versus 802s. The reason that I think myself and a lot of people like the 702s is that they make the rig significantly lighter. And I think that just has, and they also improve the power to weight ratio because of that, because they're making it lighter. So I think that's like the biggest thing that we're feeling between the two of them. But I don't know. It's just super interesting. I just find it to be wild. BrandonBakedBeans is back. Gonna look at see the differences in the props. He says the 1210, which is the bi-blade, has much more authority. I can't see any difference in actual flight response. Just the 1210 has power to spare, and the 1208 is nearing motor saturation, and that might make for a smoother feel. So that's interesting. That is what the thrust testing that I did a couple months ago showed. The 1210 bi-blades were just like monsters across the board on like every motor that I tested them on. It was really wild. And I tested these tri-blade prototypes, and they didn't do as well. There's something about these GemFan bi-blades that's just absolute magic. On 702s. Makes a lot of sense. A 702 is about as small as we're ever going to go, I think, on these motors. So it would make a lot of sense that the 702s, and this is the other thing that I'm really interested to find out here in a minute. So that makes sense. The 702s are a much better match with the bi-blades. But now we're going to 802s. So will the 802s bring out the benefits of these tri-blades? In my thrust testing, they did not. The high KV 802s liked the bi-blades in the thrust testing that I did. Let's put the tri-blades on first. Orange, in orange, the PID error is identical. In red, the motor is working harder on the left. On pitch, the difference is more subtle. Man, I was hoping that we would get some good data from this, and it looks like we might be. So this is really cool. Again, thanks, Brandon. This is rad, man. Can you see any difference in the biblade? Looks better to me. That, man, that is what I have always felt flying these things. Every time I go back to the biblades, I swear to God that they fly better. The blind testing on Wednesday night really muddied that because I was not able to tell the difference between any of them. But yeah, I have always felt like, and you guys have heard me say it a million times, that the biblades fly better. So I just swapped motors. They're probably not going to be spinning the right direction, so I'm going to put one of the non-fresh batteries on here, put it into Betaflight, and get these motors spinning the right direction. And then I'll do 2 logs with the 802s. Robin Duckett! Wait, no, I got that. Joey Whitaker says, Betaflight devs recommended mounting the open logger to the battery with VHB for a few Blackbox flights to avoid additional vibrations. That's really interesting. I dig that. That's a great idea. Go figure. The Betaflight devs are geniuses. Motors and motor direction. I understand the risks. Wizard. And none of the motors are spinning. Why? Oh, because I didn't click the button. Motor 1 is wrong. Motor 2 is right. Motor 3 is right, which makes motor 4 wrong. Yep. Stop motors. Close. I understand the risks. Fire it up. Motor 1 is correct. Motor 2 is correct. Motor 3 is correct. Motor 4 is correct. Good to go. That was me doing that, by the way. Disconnect, and we're going to put a fresh battery on. Head upstairs, do those moves, and see what's what. Punani says, I got one per your suggestion. Works with Android and OBS and Discord. Works like a webcam. Very cool, Punani. That's true. Yeah, it does work on Discord. It does work on Discord. In reference to the USB video receiver that I showed you guys earlier on Amazon. Okay. Joey Whitaker says, just curious because I soldered GNB27 to every Whoop and battery I own. Works great as long as you get good GNB connectors. Think about switching over. Thanks, man. You're certainly welcome. If you're already on GNB27, it's I don't know if I would switch to BT 2.0. If you're on PH 2.0, absolutely switch. But if you're already on GNB27, I don't know. As long as you can get a good quality folded cell battery, I would stay on GNB27, I think. Okay. Google's going on. Battery is in. Plugging in. And let's see what's what. Okay. Get it armed to get the VTX spun up. All right, let's head upstairs, and then I'll kick Blackbox on and do them moves. First, let's make sure that all is well. Yeah, we good. Is that Maggie at the table? Hi! Oh, God, Duke is coming at me. All right, here we go. Logging is on. Do some throttle. And now we're going to do some flips and rolls. Y'all. Okay, let's see if we can get it into prop wash. Almost hit the fan. Did you guys see that? And now let's do a big drop. All right, we'll leave it there. Nice and safe little test. No crashes halfway through. Oh boy. Where did that even go? It went through there. That's where it went. Okay. Good little set of moves for the tune. And yeah, man, that felt fun. Like there was no weirdness in that. These are the 1208 tri-blades. They felt beautifully well balanced. There was no anger at all. GemFan did a great job with these new propellers in terms of getting them balanced. Go figure. They seem to always do a good job getting props really well balanced. So that was one of the original things that drew me to GemFan over HQ, is that all of their propellers were just better balanced. Activate mass storage mode. Pop up on the desktop here. Grab the log. All right, get info, unlock it. Sorry, guys, wrong camera, or wrong scene rather. And now we're gonna rename this. So this is 0802-30K-1208, and drop it over in Discord. All right. It is going to Brandon. Now we're going to unplug, reset the AIO, plug it back in here, fire up Betaflight, and erase the flash. All right, one more to do after this. I just got to swap these propellers out. Start pulling them off now while it's erasing. There's one. Here comes two. 3. All right, good deal. Betaflight is all set. Let's get this disconnected. Unplug. You gotta be careful with these new tiny whoop boards. They get really hot, so you don't want to let it sit plugged into USB. It'll get real hot and it can hurt it. Okay. Did I turn these off? Yeah, I did. Okay, bi-blades going on for our last test here of 0702s versus 0802s and 1208 tri-blades versus 1210 bi-blades. Did I say 1208 tri-blades versus 1210 bi-blades? I might have said that wrong. Okay, bi-blades are all on. And all is right with the world. Last fresh Weebleed battery. Flat part towards me. In 7 minutes, Bot Grinder goes live. Get ready to do some drugs, friends. I'll probably keep streaming for a little bit, so if you want to hang, you can, but I'll be in his time slot, so do not feel even a little bit bad bailing on me to go watch the most interesting man in FPV. All right, yo, here we go. Bi-blades on the 802. My God. So with these bigger motors, the bi-blades are really like, it's super. I wonder if Brandon will be able to see it in the log. It's just like, you can really feel the authority that these motors have over the lightweight bi-blades. Here we go. Ready? All right. Throttle ramps first. Try to not hit the ceiling. Flips and rolls. Oh boy, easy, easy. All right, let's rip it around a little bit. I see Duke running. Okay, and now let's try to get a big power loop in. Oh, God damn you. I don't think it'll matter. will not prop wash pin. I mean, the PIDs are very obviously like cranked. Man, I hope that smacking into the ceiling there doesn't harm anything. Although, you know what? That happened towards the end. I think if it does have an effect, Brandon can clip it out. So we should be good regardless. All right. So there's our testing. We got some good logs here. Come on. There we go. And let's see what Brandon has to say. If he's still around. If he might be doing family things, and that is totally cool. When people do stuff for you for free, make sure that, like, you know, you don't inconvenience them at all. Like just make it a point to make sure that you're not inconveniencing them, or, like, you know, just be very, very gentle with that. Do not punch the gift horse in the mouth, my friends. But you guys all know that. You're all clever bastards. Okay, here we go. So we're going to connect, and we're going to go to Blackbox, and we're going to activate mass storage mode. There we are. And pull this over. And now I am going to make some of the changes that Brandon mentioned. Now that we're done with this testing, I didn't want to change anything within this testing. So this is 0802-30K-1210. Cool. And now that's headed over to Brandon. All right, cool. So Brandon's got all the logs. Hopefully he can carve out a couple. He's training his small children to read logs. Quad 66 has arrived. Yo, what's up, brother? He says, I'm just here to heckle Brandon. Oh, shit. Yo, everybody welcome Quad 66. If you guys are not subscribed to his channel, I'm going to beat you with a goddamn hammer. Get over there. He is an incredible pilot, a great tuner, great builder, and just seems like an awesome person. His channel is one of my favorite FPV channels on YouTube. So get over there and show him some love. You're gonna really dig what he's up to. Yeah, it's just we need more people that like have. I don't know. We need more smart people testing products. I'm gonna say that. I'm just gonna leave it. Many of you know exactly what I mean. So I'm gonna make a couple of the changes that Brandon suggested, and then I've got some more like kind of beat up batteries that we can. Quad 66 says I'm non-violent and don't endorse this endorsement at all. That's all right. I'm probably more non-violent than you are, Quad. I'm all talk. All right, so we're going to come in here and make a couple of the changes that Brandon suggested. And I guess I might as well do one more log after those changes to kind of see. Although, no, actually, you know what? We're not going to make any changes because this thing's going to get torn apart. But, you know, I'm in here. I'll make the changes. And then I'm going to fly a couple more batteries on this rig because this is the last you're going to see of this particular build. For all the reasons I talked about earlier, which are that I'm taking this AIO and I'm going to do an Hdzero 75mm rig. I'm building that rig to chase RC drift cars at a local spot here Thursday nights. I don't know. Might be fun. Might not. Okay. So what did Brandon say? He said, after I sent him the first log, he said... okay, so those are the changes that I did make there. And then he said, I don't want to use the notch. Okay, here we go. Okay, here it is. Let me just highlight this over here. And then we're going to come into filters. And all right, so we already had it on one harmonic, so that's good. The one harmonic thing I learned from Quad 66, actually. I don't want to use notch. Set the D-term low pass filter 2. Okay, D-term low pass filter 2 to biquad. Interesting. Quad 66. By the way, I had your D-term notch filter set up. That static D-term notch that you did on, because your build is very similar, just much lower KV. So I had your D-term notch filter. And then Brandon didn't think it was doing all that much, so we turned it off. And then Brandon says, the dynamic notch kind of sucks too. Let's try 2 counts at 450 Q. So we're going to double up the dynamic notch, and then we're going to raise the Q factor up so it's a little bit more narrow of a notch. And then we're going to save that. None of this really matters, though, to be honest, because, again, this build is getting ripped apart. Brandon just replied over on Discord. He said the differences here are much harder to visualize. Interesting. So I think what that means is that we were right in that the 702s, there was much bigger of a difference on the 702s between the biblades and the tri-blades, because 702 is such a small motor that it really wants that biblade, that super lightweight, super wispy kind of, two-bladed prop. Whereas the 702s didn't quite have enough stator volume for the slightly heavier, slightly more draggy tri-blade. That makes a lot of sense. Now that we're on 802s, it would stand to reason that an 802 is going to be able to handle the heavier, more draggy tri-blade. I think that's what Brandon is saying and seeing here, which is cool. We kind of knew that, but it's really good to double check it. All right, so let's head back over here. So yeah, I made those couple slight changes here. I don't remember what that D-term notch filter was, otherwise I would turn it back on, but let's just leave this. Let's leave this as it is, and I'm just going to throw a couple of batteries up in the air. We'll rail around, give Brandon some time to take a look at stuff, and then we'll shut this shit show down. Let me see if I can get used to these 802s and this really low camera angle and a fairly wide angle camera. This rig is pretty different in a lot of different ways to the quads that I typically fly, which are the Mobula 6 ELRSs with mega KV 702s. Just want to make sure that I've discharged all these batteries down. All right, so this is another one of the fresh batteries. I'm going to put this through it first because I just want to get this down in voltage to storage voltage as quick as I can. So let's just rail around the basement a little bit here. What's up, Michael D? And discharge down some of these batteries. And then you guys can head over and watch some butt grinder, as X-Jet once called them. Come on, Goggles, you can do it. All right, operation, try to get used to the quad that's about to be taken apart. Go. Man, these 802s feel great. Like, they're really responsive. And they're just grunty as hell. But I definitely feel the extra weight. Oh God, I hit that hanging gate. Oh, got lucky on that. Oh, come on. I got lucky and then just like so stupidly crashed. That was hot. Oh, I got rejected the second time. Alright, so again, just doing my standard kind of stuff here to try and get used to this. Let's try the impossible power loop. Where is it at? Here it is. Let's try it. Oh! Oh, that might be the new impossible power loop, is that instead of flying under the desk, you hit the floor top and get a little drumming in. Wow, I missed that. I tried to dive down into that cube and just completely missed it. Big power loop. Nope. Nope. Wow, it's way different to try this big power loop with the low camera angle. Let's see. Oh god, I hit the top of the goddamn thing. Alright, here we go. Nope. A little too low. Let's try it again. Oh, there it is! Try it again. Oh, twice in a row! That's rare! Oh! Tried to do a little fly up it and then dive down it. Oh god, almost hit my own leg. Come on, really? I'm at this point where I kind of have too many gates down here. Like it's fun and all, but yeah, it's kind of nutty. Let's do the sim rig weave. I haven't done the sim rig weave in a while. Oh! Get! Nope! What was that? Oh. Hey! Oh. Got a little carried away there. No. Easy. Alright, here we go. Let's get back into this. Oh. 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 Oh, get out of here. Come on now. Let's try the big throw. The sim rig's kind of in the way. Well, can I incorporate it in the big throw? Let's try. Nope. I was trying to go kind of... Oh. What's happening? Nope. Battery's dead anyway. It's all hung up in the sock. Oh no. Don't eat my avocado sock, you jerk. No. Come on now. Don't be like that. Alright. Well, whatever. Oh god. I threw the avocado sock and it fell in my glass of water. I'm going to forget that and drink that later. Guaranteed. Okay, here we go. And Michael D says, hello. Custom startup tone after the Wednesday. Oh, I didn't, Michael D. Can you post it again? Oh. BrandonBakedBeans is, has looked at those logs. 1210 is better again. Dude, right? The 1210 is better on these motors, on the 802s as well. Is that the bi-blade again? Yep, 1210 is the bi-blade. 1210 is better on 0802s. Gonna compare 702 to 802 with 1210. Now we're talking. That I'm really looking forward to hearing that. Yeah, the GemFan bi-blades are just they're just magic. I don't get it. Some people don't like them because they say that they're too slidey. I get that for racing. But for freestyle, they're just everything, man. They are like magical mystery props that rule. All right, live stream live. Here we go. Live stream live. Oh, there it is. Let's see. Nice. Very cool. That's a good one. It's hard to startup tones and stuff like that. I'm always very wary of because you're gonna listen to it a million times and it's same thing with like ringtones, right? Like remember back in the day, you'd put like a ringtone on your phone of like your favorite song. You ever notice how you hate that song now? I learned this lesson editing way back when. I would do like car related and motorsports and autocross edits, and I would like never be able to listen to the songs again because I would listen to them over and over again during the edit. Yeah. Luckily that used to happen to me all the time, but now it's more when I listen to the song, I I think about the edit, and like I even almost to the point where like I think about the day. Clumsiest beginning of a battery of all time. Oh God, come on now, what is happening? Why can't I fly? Oh boy, this is getting embarrassing. Oh my God, why am I just not... I'm just hammering the throttle when the quad is fully inverted. What am I doing? There we go. Jesus. Ooh, that was weird. That was a very awkward little something or other. I don't know what that was. Oh, did it... Something happened. Threw a prop, maybe? What's up, little guy? You did not throw a prop. What's your deal? There's a little fuzzball on this one. What's happening? Yeah. There's a fuzzball on this one. Get that fuzzball out of there, little buddy. Let's get you fixed up. Well, that wasn't that much fuzz. What the hell? Oh, son of a bitch. This AIO just shit the bed. You fucker. Yep. AIO just died. You son of a bitch, Beta FPV. Well. Guess I'm getting the Neutron. Let's pull power and give it power again. We'll see if it was just a fluke. It never was. Maybe though. Nope. She dead. She died. Yeah, it was at least stuttering and whatnot a second ago, but now it's just gone. Now it's got nothing. Let's check the motor leads. I have not had good experiences with beta FPV AIOs. Okay. Oh no, motor lead broke off. Okay, good. Good. That is a good thing because that's an easy fix. I am not going to fix it tonight though. Like Elise says, wow, 0 up tilt. Yeah, I have a hard time flying this thing because of the up tilt. So there you guys go. There's some. Oh wait, no, hold on. So here's the final word from Brandon's Baked Beans over on Discord. Brandon, thank you again so much, man. Looks like the 702 is doing a better job here, having to work less to do the same moves. It's hard to tell. This might be more of a feel thing. Prop choice, not so much. One definitely seems better than the other. So the 1210s, the biblades, the GemFan biblades, are definitely doing a better job than the new tri-blades. On the 702s, for sure. On the 802s, it sounds like it's not that much of a thing. Here's the deal, though. If you're racing, you're probably not going to want these biblades. Like, the tri-blade thing, even though they don't do as good, according to the Blackbox logs, that doesn't matter. Like, the flight feel is what matters. So, yeah, super interesting. And if you're going to run the biblades, you kind of might as well run 702s because it seems like they're the perfect size for the weight and dragginess of the biblades. Really cool stuff. Brandon, you're the goddamn man. These are not static lines, peaks visible, tumor axis. Definitely winners. Brandon, here is... I'm going to drop a link to... I've had a tab opened with this video for a while. Here's the video where Quad 66 puts the open logger on and does the testing, and you can see in his logs where that crazy spike is that he drops that static notch on. The rest of you guys, this Quad 66 Blackbox tuned 0702 Whoop preset video is awesome. And I used this exact tuning, the filter tuning setup. Where's it at? Let me mute this. Yeah, his exact filter tuning setup worked beautifully, has been working beautifully on a whole bunch of my rigs. So I really recommend it. His PIDs, I mean, PIDs are a more personal kind of choice. These are good. I prefer dynamic damping. But yeah, his PIDs are also going to work really totally fine. But his filters to me are like kind of the star of the show. And yeah, they worked really, really, really well. There they are. Yeah, he's got this D-term static notch filter dropped on here. All of that being said, my builds are very similar to his build. If you're not on a Meteor 65 frame, if you're not on a 702, it's probably not going to be as dialed in as this. And we even saw tonight, like when Brandon was looking at my logs with, again, a pretty similar build, there were some shifts and some changes. So it's not one-to-one, but I mean, if it's something to kind of play around with, and just listening to him talk about it, you learn a lot. It's a really good practice to do. BrandonBakedBeans says, this PID tune you have here is great, maybe more feed forward, but it's really well balanced. Awesome. I'm now going to rip this rig apart and the tune will have nothing to do. Yeah, I mean, literally. Now I'm going to pull this apart and that's that. Thanks again, Brandon, for your help. He's going to eat some dinner. I'm going to sign off as well so that you guys can go get you some bot grinder. I'm going to get some food as well. I'm hungry. Come back on Sunday at 3 o'clock Eastern time, and we'll do something else. I don't know what we're going to do Sunday, but I'll think of something. And yeah, we'll keep making our stuff fly better and hanging out and supporting each other. CiottiFPV.com for a million different ways on how to support me. If you like this kind of content, I rely on you. Each one of you, I rely on you. Do something for me. Hit thumbs up, subscribe, join the Patreon for 10 cents a day, click some affiliate links, whatever it may be. If you guys all do that, I'll keep doing this, and we'll hang out together forever. Love you guys. Be good. Here's some flying from one of my favorite spots, but also one of the most challenging spots in all of Atlanta. Be good, friends. Have a wonderful Friday night. Have an awesome Saturday. I will see you on Sunday. See ya. Why? These are all songs that we've used a bunch. This is not. Later, friends. wasn't a bad one. Getting there. GoPro stayed on. Hey!